Dude, have you seen that there is an insane list of movies coming out next year?
I have. Did you know that according to IMDb, there's 299 films slated to release?
You know what we should do? We should put together a list of films that we're most excited about for 2026.
Whoosh.
Welcome to the cast Backstage Banter. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Saris.
And I'm Morgan Elgarden.
Today, we're going to give you each of our top 5 most anticipated films for 2026.
Now, let's just lay out some ground rules. These are new theatrical films only. No anniversary returns and no streaming releases, just films.
Yeah, and before we get started, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're also on your favorite podcast platform. It's free to subscribe, but it does a lot for us, so we appreciate it. So feel free to subscribe in all places, or at least a couple of them. Anything you'd like to do is great. And on that note, Morgan, should we just dive right into it?
Actually, I thought it might be fun if we started with a box office bomb.
Okay. So something that is supposed to be a big movie for 2026, but we think it'll flop instead?
Exactly.
All right. Okay. You got one lined up?
I think, and this might be a hot take, I think the new Hunger Games movie is going to bomb. The Hunger Games
Interesting.
Sunrise on the Reaping.
Interesting. Why do you think it's going to bomb?
Because I think that after, you know how they split the last movie into a part one and a part two to try and rip off Harry Potter?
That's actually not the last movie. There's actually another movie that happened after that. There was it was a couple years ago. There was one that was like the story of Donald Sutherland's character. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, but that wasn't like the last movie being based on the last book in the trilogy series.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Where they did Mockingjay parts 1 and 2.
Yeah, parts one and two. I think that decision killed the franchise.
Interesting. Okay. My initial reaction, because I saw that it was a movie coming out too, my initial reaction was to agree with you that I thought it was going to be set up to fail. However, they've cast all kinds of big people in this thing, and Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson are coming back to reprise their roles as Katniss and Peeta. So I think that I think that that's going to get enough people to go that it might actually do okay. But I respect the choice.
Are you saying that there's some stunt casting going on?
There might have been. And if you think that's a thing or you're curious about more, we did do an episode on it. You should go back and check it out. It's what did we call that thing? Chris Pratt, it's just a name? Something like that?
It's just a name, guys.
It's just a name.
But it gets butts and chairs.
For my box office bomb, and I feel like I might get a lot of heat for this, but did you know that they're making a Street Fighter movie next year?
I did.
Oh man, so I saw the trailer, and this has either got the potential to be fantastic. It's either going to be like a huge cult classic, or it's going to be a massive flop, because this trailer looks so goofy. The way that they're taking the tone of the movie is like a gamble, and it could either pay dividends or it can totally bomb. And I don't know. I feel like after some of the other video game adaptations I've seen, I'm leaning towards this is going to flop. I hope I'm wrong, but that's my hot take.
Now, I'm probably about to sound incredibly ignorant, but is that separate from the Mortal Kombat movie that's supposed to be coming out, or are those the same thing?
No, they're different. So they're different fighting games.
Okay, they are
Mortal
different.
Kombat is a different game.
That's what I thought. And so my question is, if you think that Street Fighter is going to flop, is Mortal Kombat also going to flop, or does that one have enough prestige to not flop?
Maybe wait for my list. Maybe we'll have more about that later.
Oh, a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah. So to start with our list, we're doing what, a top 5 here? We're each doing a top 5?
So we'll start with number 5. Cool graphic.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
I'll go first. I don't
Okay, go
mind.
first.
So my number 5, this one, I think people may not have even really heard a lot about this one because I'll be honest, I sort of forgot about it until it popped up when I was doing a little bit of research on what's coming out next year. But I'm looking forward to Coyote versus Acme.
I am too, actually, and that almost made my list because, for anybody who doesn't know, that was the WB movie that they scrapped as a tax write-off, and it
Yep.
was I forget the name of the company that ended up purchasing it, but somebody else swooped in and bought it because it was just gonna be shelved forever. And do you know the premise of the movie?
I actually don't know much about it. I'm hoping though that it's going to be in a similar vein as the Looney Tunes Back in Action movie with Brendan Fraser because I love that movie and I'm hoping that this is similar to that.
I have not seen that, but I think that this is different. So everybody knows Wile E. Coyote is that coyote from Looney Tunes that buys all the Acme products, and he's trying to catch the Roadrunner, and everything always ends up with him blowing up or something going off in his face or him falling off of a ledge. Nothing works correctly, right? So this is a
Yeah.
courtroom drama where he is suing Acme, or
Oh, that's
he's
right.
taking Acme to court because their products fail and they're unreliable. And just the premise alone sounds very amusing to me. But everyone who has seen this movie, like the test audiences and Will Forte, who's in that, everybody says that this movie is fantastic. And when it got scrapped, people were really up in arms about it.
Yeah,
So I'm
they
glad it's
were.
going to see the light of day because it's got a cool idea to it. And what a way to revive the Looney Tunes franchise. This seems
I
like
do
a better approach to me than just doing another straight kind of Looney Tunes movie.
yeah, I do think that it'll be interesting to see because I I didn't love that they gave Wile E. Coyote a voice. For any of you guys who grew up with Looney Tunes, he classically is a silent character, just like the Roadrunner. I mean, the Roadrunner has his beep beeps, but he's a silent character in in all of the classic cartoons. But they recently, sometime post 2020, I don't remember when, they gave him a voice. And they made him sound like very proper British, which I think just totally is not his character. So I'm curious how he's gonna be in the movie, and I kinda hope they go back to him just being a silent character with his lawyer being there, and it's like
Where did they
a
give him a
dynamic
voice?
between
Because
the
there
2.
was, if I recall, I've not watched Looney Tunes in a long time, but if I recall, there was a character that looked just like Wile E. Coyote. I think his name was Ralph, but
Ralph.
he had a voice, and that was I mean, that and the color of nose, I think, were the deciding differentiators. And it was definitely
Yes.
Wile E. that has the voice on it. It was not Ralph in disguise or something.
You know what? That's a very good trivia question for somebody in our audience who would like to get into the comments and correct Morgan on his ignorance, because I'll be honest, I very much confuse the 2, and I get that you can tell the difference by the color of their nose, but
That
I
requires you
thought it was
remembering
Wile
which
E.
has got which
Coyote.
color's nose, yeah.
I can never remember. I think Ralph is the one with the red nose, but I I don't I think it's Wiley who they gave a voice, but I don't know. I can't
Interesting.
say for certain.
Okay. Well, my number 5 is Scary Movie 6. You know the franchise, which I think you said you have seen the first one of that, haven't you, Morgan? The Scary Movie franchise?
Yeah, the what is it? The parody on
Yeah,
horror films? Yeah.
it's the horror movie parody film. So these were originally made by the Wayans brothers. They did the first 2 movies. Then the Weinstein Company didn't want to pay them. They wanted them to take like pay cuts or something, and they basically stole the franchise from them. So they got booted off of those, and then they reworked them for Scary Movies 3, 4, and 5, and those were not as good. 5 in particular was pretty bad. So the Wayans brothers are now back and doing this new 6th one, and those were funny. I mean, the Wayans brothers did a great job with the first couple. I'm excited what they do now that they've had 12, 13 years worth of horror movies to add to their list of parodies. I think it'll be a fun ride. I'm very excited. So that's my number 5 pick for this list.
Solid. Those I think that those are solid. I feel like we're starting off strong with our
I
top
think so
10
too.
or with our top 5, sorry. 10 collectively, 5, but top 5. Anyway, number 4. So
Go for
my
it.
number 4 is Young Washington. I feel like is no one is looking forward to other than me.
I have not even heard of that movie. Is that about
Yep.
a young aspiring apple?
I kinda figured that you wouldn't have heard of it. I feel like it's targeted a very niche demographic, but yeah, it's about this young apple who encounters a young Isaac Newton. I'm kidding. It's a biopic about, Washington's early years and how he becomes general of the Union Army, and I being a history fanatic, I'm very curious what the movie will look like and, like, how historically accurate it's gonna be. I'm gonna be there probably like, "They got that right, they got that wrong, they got that right, they got that wrong."
Have they cast that yet?
I believe so.
Do you know who's playing Washington off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head, but I can Google it real quick. Young Washington.
While you do that, I'm just gonna throw out there that there's I I'm not a historical buff by any means, but I do know that people say Washington had wooden teeth, which is not actually true. Like I guess he had weird
Not
dentures that was made of I forget what they were made. They were made of like an animal tooth or something, if I recall. But everybody always says he had wooden teeth, but that's just a common misconception.
Yes, that is indeed true, and he didn't actually chop down the cherry tree in his father's front yard. That didn't
Makes for a good story
happen
though.
either. But, young George Washington, like, I guess the kid version of George Washington is played by Will Joseph, and George Washington is played by William Franklin Miller.
I don't know who either of those people are, but good luck to
And
both of them.
the movie is directed by John Irwin.
Okay. For my number 4, I am going with the movie Werewolf, which is the upcoming Robert Eggers film. I am a big fan
That
of his
one almost
work.
made my list.
Did it really? I'm surprised because you're
That
not
one almost made
normally
my
a
list.
horror person.
It has a very interesting concept.
Yeah, Robert Eggers is quickly becoming one of my favorite directors. I watched his Nosferatu movie last year, and my goodness, not only was the film good, but uh, eh, the you watch some of these movies these days where you just has a very like it has like just a very generic aesthetic to it. Not his films. Like these shots are beautiful. They're cinematic. He does, I don't know who he gets to do his sound design, but there's a consistency within his movies. They look different, but you can always tell it's an Eggers film. And it's just a true testament that these are passion projects for this guy. And I am very excited to see what he does with Werewolf. I believe Willem Dafoe is coming back. He worked on Nosferatu with Robert Eggers. And I think
Oh.
uh, uh, Lily Ellen Depp or whatever Johnny Depp's daughter's name is. I think Lily Rose Depp, maybe. She's I think coming back. They got a good cast, and I don't know. Ralph Ineson is always good. He's going to be in this too. I'm excited to see what they do. I think it'll be a good movie.
Yep, that one's definitely up there, I think. So, moving right along to number 3. We have entered top 3 territory, Jason.
Ooh,
How do you feel? How do
I
you
feel
feel?
like I'm in the top 3 of my list now. A
Jason,
little
always
too on
with
the
the
nose. Okay.
enthusiasm. Always with the enthusiasm. So my number 3 is Violent Night 2.
Wow, I'm surprised you picked that too. I almost picked that because I like the first one so much. Have you watched the
That's why
first
I,
one?
that's why I picked it. Yeah, I watched it with my brother.
Wasn't that great? That was such a good movie.
It was such an innovative take on like a classic sort of story. And I've also just grown to love David
Harbor.
yes.
That movie, if anybody doesn't know, that is a slasher film where Santa Claus is like this Nordic creature, I guess, or like I don't know. He's some sort of Nordic god, and he's just
Yeah.
incredibly violent. And he's taking out all these worse people in this movie, but it actually has a very wholesome Christmas story that kind of goes underneath the whole thing, which was surprising and it's really satisfying. So not only do you get the weird, like the cool action, the bloody kills, but you get a very sentimental story that underlies the whole film. Man, it was a what a great film. If you haven't seen it, definitely check
It's
it out.
It's a testament to what films can be
Mhm.
when there's a focus put on the art of storytelling because it's so well written, it's beautifully shot, the actors are phenomenal. It's just everything about filmmaking, top-notch filmmaking coming together and really creating something worth going to the theaters for.
And it was pretty under
And
the
that is
radar. Like, I feel like a lot of people didn't even, I don't know, didn't know it was a thing. It did well, but I don't think that most
right.
people, like, you can ask a person on the street, and I'm not sure that they would actually have seen it or know of it.
Yeah, they might not, but nonetheless, I'm excited for the second installment of Violent Night.
Me too. But, that's not my number 3, though. My number 3 is actually Spider-Man: Brand New Day.
Yeah, I thought one of the Marvel releases were gonna make your list.
I do love a good superhero movie, and I know that maybe that's not the most, sophisticated of opinions, but I've enjoyed the Spider-Man movies. I think, Sony has finally, after the atrocious Andrew Garfield era of Spider-Man movies, I do like their collaboration with Marvel to make these Tom Holland pieces, and they've been pretty good. They're not perfect, but they've been pretty good, and finally, we're getting a movie set where it should be this Peter Parker broke college kid on his own, no help from the tech of Tony Stark, and I'm curious to see how they do with it. There's a lot of rumors about this movie. There's been so many whispers about the people that are in there. I know Sadie Sink is in there, and there's speculation about who she's gonna be, and
Really?
there's people seem to think she's either going to be, Jean Grey or, Mayday Parker or, I forget the
How
other one
great
that
would it be how great would it be if it turns out that her role is just a cameo appearance and she's just one of the people on the sidewalk or
that would be
whatever and
hilarious.
has, like, a very brief interaction?
You know who Jordan Peele is, right?
Mhm.
So Jordan Peele makes a cameo in all of his movies, and nobody ever knows because he's not seen most of the time. So I think it was in Get Out. I think it's Get Out where there's like a car crash and somebody hits with a deer. He plays the deer. So like his whole cameo is just making a deer
That's
noise.
hilarious.
And like he
That's
does
so
things like
funny.
that in all of his movies, and it's really funny. But I'm excited for this one, for this Spider-Man movie. I think it'll be good. I think Tom Holland is a great Peter Parker. He's a great Spider-Man, and I'm happy to see them continue on. And he better end up in the black suit in Secret Wars. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Well, moving right along, number 2. Alright, so my number 2 pick is Greenland 2: Migration.
What is that about?
Are you familiar with the first Greenland movie?
No, I'm not.
So, Greenland is about a family, more specifically about a gentleman who has to get his family to safety after a like meteor or meteorite basically wrecks everything. So, it's an apocalyptic type film, and Greenland 2 is set after the events of the meteor impacting. So Greenland is about him trying to get his family to a safe house
Okay.
before the impact wrecks everything. And Greenland 2 is about it's now like years later after the impact, and it's now safe to come out of the bunkers. So, and I have been eagerly waiting for this movie to come out because I saw Greenland in like 2021, but it came out, I think, in 2020, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm not great with numbers. But I believe I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it a little whiles after. And after I saw it, it was one of the best apocalyptic movies I had ever seen. I highly, highly recommend it. And after I watched the movie, I immediately was like, there better be another movie because at the
Mm.
end of Greenland, they set it up to be like, well, there's going to they set it up to be like there's more. We're gonna find out what happens when everybody comes out of the bunker years later. So I'm like Googling when does Greenland 2 come out? And when I was looking it up, it said that it was supposed to come out in like 2023 and then it got postponed to 2024 and then 24 came around and I was like, where's Greenland 2? And we're finally getting it in 2026.
Now you can finally rest easy. You could be happy.
Well, unless the movie bombs.
Well, let's hope not. So that sounds cool, though. It sounds very Fallout like. I mean, in a way, I guess, where you know, kind
It's
of.
very good, and it stars Gerard Butler, if you're a Gerard Butler fan.
Yeah, nice, cool. My number two, this was a wrestle for me because I debated whether it should be my number one because I am very, very excited for it, but ultimately it fell to number two, and that is the upcoming Christopher Nolan project, The Odyssey. I have
Interesting.
read The Odyssey a bunch of times. I'm Greek, so it's like required reading as a child. Uh, but
That's funny.
Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors. I think he's a lot of people's favorite director. The man puts together an incredible film every time. Like he does not miss. Even Tenet, which is probably his lowest scored film, was still good aside of some of the crazy audio mixing problems. But I'm really looking for it. The cast looks phenomenal. The story I'm sure will be great. I mean, it's epic. It is very well suited to be a Nolan movie, and I'm very excited to see what he does with it.
I think a lot of people are looking forward to the Odyssey, as evidenced by the fact that it is sold out a year ahead of its
Isn't
release.
that wild? Yeah, they released. I mean, before the trailer even came out, they put tickets available for the IMAX viewing because this is the first movie ever that's completely filmed in IMAX, where normally
Yeah.
there are sequences that are filmed in IMAX, and this is the entire thing, and it's sold out already, which is pretty incredible.
I think the world is looking forward to the Odyssey. So the fact that it is number 2 on your list is a little bit wild. But let's get to our number 1 picks. But before that, we have some honorable mentions.
Do you want to start with your honorable mention, or would you like me to?
I was gonna toss it over to you. I've
Okay.
been leading the charge on these, so I was gonna toss it to you and see if you have anything.
I'm glad that you mentioned Coyote versus Acme because I debated putting that as an honorable mention, and then I pulled it off the list. I have two though. So my first honorable mention is Mortal Kombat 2, which we mentioned at the top of the show.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
did not. I didn't love the first Mortal Kombat movie, and I'm not talking about the old school ones, but from this series, I thought it was a little rocky. I expected better, and it kind of missed the mark. I feel like they are getting a lot of, at least what I've seen so far, right for this one. So fingers crossed that they nail it this time. And I love Carl Urban, and him as Johnny Cage is very exciting to me. So I'm hoping that one, I'm hoping that this one does well. I'm hoping that it's, what I'm expecting. My other one that I'm excited for is actually Masters of the Universe, which is a He-Man property, which I was a big He-Man fan as a kid. But the reason why I'm actually kind of excited about this, because I think this has the potential to go completely off the rails. But Travis Knight is directing this, and I really appreciate what he does with films. He did the Bumblebee movie, and Bumblebee was sandbagged by the fact that it came off of all the worst of the Michael Bay Transformer movies, but it's actually a well-told
Okay.
story, and I think he did a really nice job directing that. So I think if you were going to try to have somebody put together a Masters of the Universe movie, he was a great pick for it. So I'm excited to see what they do. Fingers crossed that's good because that'll be like living my childhood and as an adult, and I'm excited for that. What were your
That's
honorable
interesting.
mentions?
So your honorable mentions are things that you are looking forward to, just not in your top 5, right? That's the
There are things
kinda
that I'm looking forward
vibe.
to, but I feel like they're a little bit too risky to have put them in my top 5.
Interesting. So my honorable mentions, I'm actually 0% looking forward to, but I wanted to mention them because there's some interesting components about them.
Okay.
So my first honorable mention is Solo Mio. And like I said, I have zero proclivity to go see this film. But this film did something wildly interesting to me, which is their social media marketing campaign. And I'm just curious to know if it pays off and gets people to go see this film.
So
So
what
if
is
you're
this
not
film?
familiar, Solo Mio apparently follows the story of this art teacher, and
Oh,
I
yes.
I probably should have looked more into what this movie is about because I really don't know. But what's interesting about this film to me is Kevin, what's his
James.
name?
Kevin James.
James, who plays the art teacher, is currently in the process of doing this very interesting social media campaign where he created a Instagram page for his character. And all of the videos that he posts on on that Instagram channel are him as his character. And I forget what his character's name is,
I think his
but
character's name is Matt, and I believe the premise of the movie is this is like the world's nicest guy, and he gets left at the altar,
okay,
and now he's got to recover from that or something. So I think
sure.
that's the premise to some degree, and I agree. And I forgot that this was coming out next year. This does look really. I mean, this sounds like really interesting idea to me. But the social media thing is what's really getting me as well.
I'm just curious if it results in getting people to go see the movie. So I'm curious to know how the film will do. So that's why this one's on my honorable mentions. And the other one, I feel like I have to mention because we did a whole episode about this movie and the gimmick that it used when it released. There is a confirmed but no set release date for a Clue movie. And the only dates that have been thrown around is that there's a hint that it might come out in 2026.
Hmm.
It is being directed by Jordan Peele. And I'm curious if it will uh, use any movie gimmick um, tools.
Yeah,
So,
if anybody has not checked out that episode, absolutely do it. I think we called it "Who Done It," the something about the movie Clue, the incredible gamble of the movie Clue. They used a
yeah.
really interesting gimmick in that film, and it's that movie's become a cult classic, but it did not do well originally in the theaters. But now people appreciate that movie a lot more, and they're talking about rebooting it. I think wasn't isn't like Ryan Reynolds like his name was. I don't know if he's actually attached, but there was talk of attaching him to that, which I don't know if I like or don't like. I do like Ryan Reynolds. I can't picture him in a movie, but Jordan Peele is he knows what he's doing behind the camera. So that's exciting too. I didn't know that that could be out in 2026. But if anybody hasn't listened to that episode, you should go back and listen to it because there's a lot of interesting thoughts about the process that they used to do that movie, and it's the tactic that they chose has not been done since. It was never done before that movie, and it has not been done since. And maybe the reboot will be a time to revive it.
Yeah, Jordan Peele, 100% knows what he's doing. I don't know that I'm compelled to go see this film in theaters, but I'm
I'll go
interested
see it. I go see
nonetheless.
everything. Like,
And
I'll watch
that's
anything
why it's
good.
on
Yeah,
my honorable mentions. But yeah, Jason goes to see everything and Morgan goes to see nothing, and that's why we are such a great team.
sure. Okay. So that means that all we've got left now is our number ones, correct?
Our number ones. And
This is
I'm gonna go
exciting.
first because y it's so wild that you put this at number 2 because I literally think the entire world is looking forward to this movie. So my number 1 is The Odyssey. And it's my number 1 because I love The Odyssey, and I don't think I'm as much of a Christopher Nolan fan as Jason is, but I do enjoy his films, and we've seen. I'm sure we've all seen the behind the scenes. We know what it's a star-studded cast. We know that Christopher Nolan was pushing heavily for practicals for everything. There was a funny meme going around at one point where they were like, Christopher Nolan is doing the whole movie in practicals. He's hiring monsters. He's shooting the scenes. He has a real boat. Like, maybe this is all hype, but I am looking forward to the Odyssey.
It's going to be good. I can't see how it could not be good. It just the casting and the fact that he's directing it and the level of fanaticism he puts into every drop of his films, it's gonna be an event for sure. I really wanted it to be my number one. Like I had it number one on my list for most of the time that I was holding on to it. And there came a point where I was like, I'm lying to myself because even though I think it'll be the best movie of the year, the film that I am most excited to see in 2026 is Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, he tricked us. He tricked us, guys. He has 2 Marvel films on his list.
I
2.
do. Man, it's just, I have been keeping up with this franchise for so long. I've seen every property that they've put out under them and under the MCU since its inception, except for I have not seen season 2 of What If. Outside of that, though, I have seen all of the stuff, and it's all culminating back to saying after this disastrous multiverse saga, and I need to see how they wrap this up, how they make it all work. And you're getting, oh man, Doctor Doom and Robert Downey Jr. back. And did you see the trailer? Have you seen
I
the
have
trailer
not.
for it?
I have
Can I
not. I'm
do
not
you
a
want to
trailer.
do you want to see the trailer? It's not going to spoil, well, it might spoil a little bit of something, but the trailer was there's something to the trailer that you just look at it and you go, "Yes, all is right in the
Tell you what.
world again."
I'll tell you what, Jason, and I have to say this first, which is Jason said it very casually, but I need you all to understand that when Jason says he has seen the entire MCU, Jason has seen the entire MCU. Jason is coaching me on how to get caught up to where it is now so that we can watch Doomsday when it comes out.
Not only have I seen the entire MCU, I've seen most of the installments multiple times.
It's
I
just
have
wild.
watched and listened to all the theory videos and the discourse on it, and I follow for like not just one. Like I said, I've been invested in it for too long. I'm too deep. I can't get out now. But also, I think it's such an interesting case study from the monumental success that it had to the fall that it's had, the different approaches that they took, whether it be like, consistent storytelling versus letting the directors do it the way they want, missteps and risks taken. And from every aspect of the art itself, I just find it fascinating. So I will watch
Basically,
everything that comes, and when it reboots, maybe I could finally jump off at that point, but
when it
probably not.
reboots. When it reboots, because it will reboot. But essentially what Jason is saying is that Kevin Feige is his god.
All hail Lord Feige.
But yes, let's watch some trailers. So I guess we'll watch the Doomsday trailer first, and then we'll watch the Odyssey trailer, which last night when I was talking to Jason about this, we were talking about possibly playing the trailers, and I was so certain that the Odyssey had a trailer. The trailer for the Odyssey dropped 4 days ago, guys.
No. There was a teaser
Yeah.
before that. It had to been more than 4 days ago.
The official trailer released, or at least the one that I found online, released on December 22nd, so 5 days ago. As of the filming of this episode, we're filming on the 27th.
A year in advance, because I think, or no, that comes on July, so we're not a year in advance. We're 7-8 months before this movie comes out, and we're getting the trailer. Yeah, it's gonna be a big deal.
So, but yeah, let's watch some trailers.
He is approaching an older cottage. We see Captain America's uniform being pulled out of an old box. And we're looking over the shoulder of somebody looking down at a baby. It's a beautiful moment. Slow pan up to his face. And it is, in fact, Chris Evans. Captain America, Steve Rogers is back. We're getting Robert Downey Jr. and we're getting Chris Evans. Oh man, and just the title card, Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. Chef's kiss.
Oh, there's more? Oh, just the release date.
Timer to count the moments until we
It's got a
see this.
countdown timer. That's too funny. But I think it is a highly anticipated film of 2026, and we will have to wait nearly a year before it comes out.
Yeah, hopefully they don't move it again because the date's been moved a couple of times now. So I hope it
I think that
sticks.
once the trailer drops, it's pretty rock solid that it'll come out, barring something crazy like somebody sets the building on fire and they lose the whole project. Like it's pretty
The
certain that it'll
weird
come
thing
out.
is, a part of me almost wanted to put this as my potential flop because this movie is so expensive. It's got to make like $2 billion in order to make money, which is
Do you
insane.
think it
They have
won't make that?
2 billion.
I mean, like 2 billion, I think is definitely up there, but it'll clear 1 billion in strides.
It will clear 1 billion, sure, but it needs to hit. I mean, like, there's so many big actors in it. It's such a huge scope and huge budget that if it doesn't make insane, it's got to break like every record. If it doesn't break every box office record, it will, even if a ton of people go and see it, it would be a technically a failure because it will have lost money, which would be insane.
Uh,
So that's why I'm really interested to see what happens on it. They got to knock this thing out of the park because if they don't, it's very easy for it to just all been for nothing.
I mean, it's definitely got a high budget for sure. I think Marvel movies have minimum a $300 million budget. Um, this one, I wouldn't be surprised if it cleared $500 million, as far as budget goes, but I'm I'm
Oh, for
sure it
sure,
will
it's more
clear a
than that.
billion. I don't know that it'll be much more than that, but it'll definitely clear 1 billion. I think it may even hit 1.5. 2 is definitely, I think, a stretch, but if it hit 1.5, I think that would be a record.
Let's see. So, the budget has been reported to be anywhere between 600 million to close to $1 billion.
Really?
Yeah, that's why, like, to clear it, typically whatever the budget of a movie is, you kind of double that because you have marketing and stuff that goes into it. So they typically say as a rule of thumb that you take the budget, you double it. That's what the movie needs to clear in order to be profitable. So we
Yeah.
don't have an exact figure because I don't think Disney has released that, and it's still not done yet. But if it ends up being close to $1 billion for the budget, it will have to make 2 billion to be successful, which is just
I
insane.
think that I think that if any movie had a shot at making 2 billion in revenue, it would be this one because if you look at Endgame and how successful Endgame
Mhm.
was, and Endgame I think was similar where it had I think it had a 400 to $500 million budget, I can't remember exactly, and that
Yeah,
movie I think was the first movie to hit $1 billion in
yeah.
sales, and Doomsday is essentially the end game of the Infinity Saga, so I think it has a good if any movie had a shot at hitting 2 billion, it would be this one.
Yeah, the problem is, and I alluded to before, is that this saga, the multiverse saga, has been rocky, and it's lost a lot of people along the way. So, that's why I think that they're going back to the Robert Downey Jr.'s and the Steve Rogers and, or then the Chris Evans, because they're trying to make sure this has everything people could want because they need everybody to come back and be there for this in the theater. And I hope it works. I hope it works not just because I want the movie to do well, but because I want to have closure as a fan. Like, I want it to all have been for something to be on this ride for so long.
Well, we will definitely be visiting Marvel over the course of 2026. May even see it in our conspiracy corner playlist. So, if you
Ooh,
haven't checked that out,
tease.
check that out. We have a Stranger Things in there right now, which if you saw the drop on the 25th, then check out our conspiracy corner before the final episode airs
We
on the
make some
31st.
predictions about who is going to die in there, and that is what I'm most anxious to see. I want to see if any of our predictions about who does or does not die happens. Because if we nail it, we're gonna wave the flag for like months. We would be that good. So check that episode
Yeah,
out.
I
Tell
don't.
us if you think we're on par with tell us how our guesses are and if you think we are gonna hit the mark or if we're gonna miss it. But we got an Odyssey trailer to watch, right? Did you end up finding it then?
We do have an Odyssey trailer.
Nice shot.
Not even
Got
me.
Odysseus on his ship.
Of Christopher Nolan. This or next scene.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
Dun,
So Matt Damon, of course,
dun.
is
The
Odysseus.
Odyssey.
I man, the scene on that gets me the most is in the middle of that trailer. You have the Greeks that are inside the Trojan horse, which obviously they've left because of the idea is that you're going to sneak it into like they've left the giant horse to pretend that they have put out a sacrifice to Poseidon's. This way they have safe travels, and the idea was that the Trojans would then bring it into their fortress behind the wall. And they
Which,
do, and the
spoiler
Greeks are in
alert,
there.
they do.
Yeah, and the Greeks are in there, and they got this shot in the trailer where they're not dumb. Like they're like, oh, just in case, and they're stabbing the horse from the outside, this big wooden horse, and one of the soldiers inside gets stabbed, and you see like another one immediately go behind him and grab his mouth this way he doesn't scream in pain, because if they are caught, they're all just, I mean, that's it. That's game over, man. And what a cool scene that is. Like, oh man, I get chills watching that thing.
I'm so
that is gonna be
hyped.
good.
I'm so clearly hyped about this movie, and I'm I'm hyped about it. Despite like the cast and despite the director, I'm excited because I am looking forward to hopefully what will be a epic imagining of an epic. Like the Odyssey is just it's a classic epic. Everyone is familiar with the story, even if they've never read it. And I have such high hopes that it will be everything that I envision whenever I read the epic.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited.
I want to know the runtime on this movie. Have they announced the runtime yet? Because I don't know how, like,
It
to me, if they were like,
it's
it's a
gotta be.
4 hour movie, I would believe it. I'd believe that it was a 4 hour film if that's what they said.
I mean, like, if it were, I'm still watching it, and that is despite the fact that I have the biggest if you've been a subscriber to our channel for any time at all, you know that I have a major issue with films that run longer than 90 minutes, but for this one, I will make an exception. If this movie were 8 hours, I am going to see it.
Release the Nolan cut. We can do. Let's just put it all in
I
there,
don't
Nolan. We want it all.
I don't see anything, which I
They
mean,
probably
like,
haven't announced it yet.
if they were true to the epic, this movie would be like a day long.
Well, I mean, you don't do it, minute by minute, but there's so much there where I wouldn't be surprised if it was a longer than usual movie. And I'm here for it. The problem is like that also increases the budget. That also limits how many theaters you can put it in or how many screens you can put it on. So there is a weird game to it. But if any director has enough pull to get it his way right now, it's probably Christopher Nolan. So I trust whatever he's doing with it. If he's going to make it an 8 hour movie, then I'm assuming it's for the best. I don't think it'll be that though. I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least 3 to 3.5 hours though.
I wouldn't either. But yeah, there is no release. There is no estimated runtime on it just yet. And I mean,
Yeah,
like,
they're
I'm
probably
looking at
still
the
in editing.
Wikipedia page.
So until the
But
editing is done, you won't know.
do you know what's wild though? Because you were just talking about how crazy the budget probably is. And again, this is according to Wikipedia, so this is probably not an accurate figure, but the budget is supposedly 250 million.
Wow, that's it? That seems low.
That's that's what it says.
I'm surprised, but yeah, I mean, maybe. It's got so many people in it, though. I can't imagine that's. We'll see. I mean, the thing with
I mean,
Wikipedia
like,
is it just depends when it was last updated, right? So maybe at the time.
that's the thing.
So we'll find out.
Let
But
me see if I never know how to spell Odyssey. Let's see if IMDb has any different information on budget. IMDb Pro also says $250 million budget,
hmm. I definitely think it'll make
which
that back.
oh, 100 it's already sold out. It's already sold out in IMAX. In IMAX, it's already sold out.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna make bank for sure. Cool.
So,
Well, I think that's our list then, right? I mean, we've hit
that
them all.
is.
We've got a couple honorable mentions in there and our box office bomb.
I
Overall,
will say, I will say there are so many things releasing next year, and there
Mhm.
were only 5 spots to be had, 10 in total, counting mine and Jason's, which we did double up on one. The Odyssey appeared on both of our lists, but only so many slots to be had. So if there's a movie that you're looking forward to that was not mentioned, please share it in the comments. We would love to know what everybody else is looking forward to.
I'll even go see it because I go see everything. So you tell me what it is, and I will find it and I'll go watch it. And if it's really bad, I will comment back to you and say I saw that. That was not good, and you could defend your position. We can fight in
Get
the
in the
comments.
comments,
We
guys.
can we can fight. I need to argue with some people in the comments. So give me your movie picks, or argue with mine. I don't know. Maybe you think my
Be
movie
careful what you
selections are
wish for,
terrible.
Jason. Come on,
That's
guys,
true.
make it happen.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap on this week's episode of the Cast Backstage Banter. Until next time, keep the reel rolling, and we'll catch you in the next scene.
That's a cut.